I don't know how having an OnlyFans
equates to low standard.
Right. Like women are devalued once they create an account. Like you log in your information and you are now a prostitute.
If she's over there doing it for free and she's over there doing it for money, I don't understand how their standards are different. And if anything, you should like, she got an entrepreneur spirit. Like, you should like that. She's getting some money.
And like,
Alright guys, y'all looking at the thumbnail, y'all looking at the title of the video, y'all already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Guys, listen, before we get started, before we get situated, do understand that there's very few videos that I go over when there's people talking to each other. And I'm just speechless because of the pure absurdity, the indignant, insurmountable ridiculousness. These two young ladies were having a conversation regarding a guy that broke up with a girl because she started an OnlyFans account, and listening to them recount why the guy makes no sense in breaking up with a girl is simply a sight to behold. So brace yourselves. Without further ado.
so there's this big post, which is posted here, about this woman who gave up her relationship for her OnlyFans account. So
For the
from
streets.
The looks of it, the video, if you've seen the video, the couple are arguing, and she wants to know, the woman wants to know why her boyfriend broke up with her. And he says, because you made an OnlyFans account and I told you not to.
Logic.
And then she says, so are you gonna pay my bills? And then the
Oh, Jesus.
video cuts out. So what you been seeing on Twitter? I'm not on Twitter. So.
Right. So a lot of the responses are basically centered around, you know, who's right, who's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like acknowledging both sides, people are just picking a side. And so, you know, men are typically saying, okay, you know, I don't want a girlfriend with an OnlyFans account. Like it's okay that he doesn't want to date somebody that's an OnlyFans account. They don't want to date sex workers, and they have like certain standards.
And for me, because my realm is more on Facebook, and then the Facebook group is where I saw it first, and a lot of the comments were basically focused on like, you know, the woman had a point, like he wasn't gonna pay her bills, like,
right,
and he was not paying her bills, and that's what most of the conversation was centered around. And then the men were saying, well,
you know,
so,
Twitter is pick me
territory.
Yeah. So a lot of girls aren't gonna say, even though it's what they think, and that's not what they're gonna say because they're scared to get dragged.
But on Facebook, anything goes. If you haven't been there, anything goes.
The streets.
It's great. But then we get into that word standards. Like, men and their standards.
Period.
Pay attention.
It's weird. Men and their standards.
It's crazy what they want to set a boundary for.
Yeah.
It's crazy the things that they choose to have a standard about. I'm not a man, so. But I'm confused.
But I'm confused because OnlyFans accounts and standards, I don't know how having an OnlyFans
equates to low standard.
Right. Like women are devalued once they create an account. Like you log in your information and you are now a prostitute.
Right. And I keep making a point. There can be a girl having the same number of partners, having the same amount of sex for free every day, in and out on the streets doing her thing. And the moment that a girl gets online and does it, now she's a criminal, even though might have less partners. Actually, she could just be doing solo videos. She can be sending feet pics. You don't have to have sex on OnlyFans. You can sell anything. So how does that, like, if she's over there doing it for free and she's over there doing it for money, I don't understand how their standards are different. And if anything, you should like, she got an entrepreneur spirit. Like, you should like that. She's getting some money.
And like,
I'm sorry, let's pause it real quick. I can't remember a time where I've had the combination of so many illogical, dumbfounding. It's like you could visibly watch the hamster on the wheel, just trying just to pull all of these random thoughts together to inevitably end up with nothing but straight bullshit. And let me tell you guys something real quick. As a man of good decision making, logic, right, and also standards as what they cast down on, I am offended with the things that I just heard. The dudes that watch this channel that lead their life in logic are offended by what they just heard. And the women who live modest, moral, and prudent lives should be offended by what she just said. Okay? She's essentially taking the idea that she doesn't understand that a man who gets into a relationship with a woman brings up making money by giving a component of their relationship, the sexual component of their relationship, and selling that online. She doesn't understand why that would not meet that man's standards. Outside of participating in the sex industry, outside of giving a component of our relationship out online and selling it with or without me. It sounds like it's without me in this particular situation. She doesn't understand it, and she questions and casts doubt on that. The sane, prudent, good decision-making women should also look at this and be like, what is it that y'all are doing? Because she's comparing the modest way that you live your life as saying that there's no value in doing or living that way. The women who look at content like this, why do y'all not speak up against the logic that is present right here?
Pornhub is in a whole industry. Like, who do y'all think these women are behind these cameras?
I guess they
unmarriageable women.
The women behind the cameras that you spend your money on can't be.
But the thing is, a lot of guys are saying that we're gold diggers, we're this, that, the other. When we seek out relationships, we don't build. I saw another post the other day saying that women don't build, they just move in. So, like, according to you all, we don't make money. We only want guys with money. We don't have anything. But if these are the people with money, clearly these are the girls buying houses, cars, like they have the finances, but those are the ones that you don't want to date. But you keep saying that your standard is a girl who has something going for herself. That's something going for yourself.
But just with that being said, we always accept
the hoops that you have to jump through in order to say anything that she does is something going for herself, and then liken it to OnlyFans is absolutely, positively the most craziest shit that I've heard all year.
Two things can be true at the same time. So, our collective viewpoint is that of many. I was telling her earlier, like, we understand that people set boundaries in their relationships, and that's between them two. We don't have anything to say about that. We don't. So we feel like they're both valid. If he don't want to date a sex worker, assuming that she is, because just because you do OnlyFans does not mean she's a sex worker. But if he doesn't want to date a sex worker, he doesn't have to. And if she wants to make her money the way she wants to make her money, she can do that.
True.
And those things clash in relationships. This thing is a valid argument, but don't think that this conversation is not about women, the policing of how they choose to make their money, and also entering into relationships where men respect what they do. Because that's a lot of what we're seeing. We're not having a conversation about
that's not the argument, though. You're messing up the argument, and it's maybe on accident, but you're messing up the argument. I'm not. Listen, if you want to be a part of the sex industry, do your thing. I don't give a shit. The exact argument that you set up is that he broke up with her because she started an account. They went into a relationship, and she didn't have a For the Streets account. She then started it and then questioned, why did he break up with me? Are you just missing out on a key component of the context? But I agree. If you know that she was in part of the sex industry and you get in a relationship with her and you expect her to stop or some shit like that, like, you's just as crazy as the logic within the young ladies that are speaking out in front of him right now. That's ridiculous thinking. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's keep going.
You know, why did he feel like he had to say, no, you can't have an OnlyFans account? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, I don't know, because I was asking myself the same question. Like, we have this has been made apparent time and time again on social media, especially Twitter, because that's just where I'm at most of the time. But I have never once seen a role reverse. I have never once saw a woman say, I will not date him because he has an OnlyFans. And I mean, men do have OnlyFans. I don't know why people don't think that, but men do have OnlyFans. Like,
the amount of women in relationships that get jealous for simply liking a IG model Photoshop photos online is ridiculous. Are you telling me that a woman would not be upset if a man is showing his eggplant online? Ma'am. You know what it is that what I see here is what happens when echo chambers go astray, lack of fathers are right. There's a lack of fatherhood. Fathers are not present. I'll be goddamned when I have kids one day if I have a daughter that can reach of adult age and thinks about the world like this. I know that my job was not done correctly, but it will never happen. It would never happen. She would not ever think like this, because I'm going to verbally pound it into her. Right, wrong, good, bad. I'm going to do the damnedest job that I absolutely can and positively can do that. I'm going to be with her through every step of the way so that she's not an adult woman and has these thoughts. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. It's just ridiculous to me. And I feel a bit bad. I feel a bit sad, because if there's a degree of leadership within their life, good leadership, structured leadership, measured leadership, the less likely that they'll come up to these errant conclusions.
Like, they have something for everybody. So even like partners, whether you're male, female, male, like, I don't see this happening with anybody else but the male and female, and it's always male towards females. I don't want you doing that, but I have never seen a role reverse.
I saw a post today that said that somehow somebody said, she said, for some reason men can sell drugs and make money illegally and tear apart the community and kill folks. And somehow one can flip the game on OnlyFans. Yes, I was blind.
That's the definition of false equivalency.
But it's true.
Yes,
it's absolutely true. And I mean,
oh my God. Okay, guys, I can't. I'm so sorry. I tried. I can't do it anymore. Oh my God. This is just blind leading the blind. And it's so crazy that we have, a technology today that demonstrates it, that can show it. But it bothers me because it helps me understand the value of platforms like this, the value of the things that I know, the things that we share, take them up out of the group of successful people that I associate myself with, who have made great decisions throughout their life, and can get the things that they want to. But I can tell you right now, if you have this loosey-goosey way of thinking, or if you're easily swayed by the false equivalency of Twitter posts, right, and you're not able to peel back the onion of what is actually being said and to critically deconstruct how it doesn't make sense or how it is illogical, okay? The pure idea that men are allowed or can be, no one wants that shit. No one wants that shit. Okay, people are products of their environments, but to then compare that shit to flicking your bean on OnlyFans is absolutely ridiculous, as to say that men are controlling what women do. right? That you shouldn't be flicking your bean after signing up with a relationship with me. I'm like, oh, you just want to all of a sudden just show your insides online now, right? Okay. And you don't know why I want to break up with you, right? And then somehow compare that to violence, which no one wants. No one wants that shit. People don't want both. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's a market for both. Right, like, the rap industry has been made off of, especially in the early 90s up to the 2000s, have been made off of, and, you know, even now today, off of violence within it. And they will appropriate the worst components of our culture to sell a product. But now on the opposite end of that, on the female side of that, they are appropriating your sexuality and making it like it's okay to do anything with the flicking your bean in order to cash a check. And this is our modern time. This is it. And I'm telling you guys what, it's absolutely terrifying. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tourism reviews at gmail.com. Guys, do you agree with me? Do you not? Let me know down in the comment box down below. This one should make for fruitful discussion. Last but not least, I got a Patreon. Click the link down below. Beam up, see the awesome things that are in store. It is the best Patreon on this side of YouTube. Until next time, YouTube.